Welcome to your daily 49ers update. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Here is what's happening. As if another loss wasn't bad enough for the 49ers, now Brock Purdy is hurt again. Late in the 40-34 defeat, Brock Purdy got sacked and rolled up on, damaging his surgically repaired right elbow. Take a listen to how Brock described the injury after the game.
On that sack, I got hit on the backside, and basically just my arm was on fire kind of thing. And so I tried throwing a couple on the sideline, and I couldn't at that point. So, it has nothing to do with tapping out of a game or anything like that. I love my teammates, and I'll go to the very end for them and this fan base and everybody. So that's what hurts me is like I couldn't finish the game. But again, we'll see tomorrow.
When your arm's on fire, is that similar pain to what you had in Philly?
A little bit, but we did some tests with like UCL stuff, and I'm good in that regard. But we just got to go get imaging on it tomorrow and see the whole thing. So,
as he said, Purdy will have an MRI later today to determine the damage. For what it's worth, Kyle Shanahan described it a little bit differently after the game when he was asked, "Does this seem like a long-term injury?"
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I'm just speculating right now. I know everyone, when they hear about Brock's elbow and stuff, just like me, you think of the elbow injury from a couple of years ago. But, just talking to doctors, he just got hit in the right spot. And when you get hit there, your nerves go and you can't feel much. But hopefully it'll be all right.
Anyone that has followed the 49ers since Kyle Shanahan became the head coach knows to take what he says about injuries with a giant grain of salt. We have seen him say a player should be fine, only for that same player to end up missing a chunk of time. So hold your breath until those MRI results come in. Outside of the Brock Purdy injury, it was more of the same for the 49ers. They dominated offensively, gaining 475 yards in the game, but they were doomed by self-imposed mistakes. Multiple Brock Purdy interceptions in the second half, multiple penalties that negated plays, and yes, multiple missed kicks by Jake Moody. Incredibly frustrating to see the same mistakes happen over and over and over again. After the game, George Kittle offered a very damning critique of his team.
Not playing at a high level, not executing well, leaving guys open on third, fourth down, being downfield on a pass play. There's just a lot of things out there that are, we're hurting ourselves and then just not giving ourselves a chance to win. And, it's not like, I feel like, Coach Shanahan, our coaches, I think they do a fantastic job of coaching us and explaining things, giving us the rules, the things that we have to do. As players, it's the NFL, it's your job. So we need to know how to execute. We need to know what to do. And we just haven't been able to do that a lot this year. And, I don't have an answer. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something to look at. Whether you watch the tape or whether this offseason to look at, it's like, hey, we have to go back to being able to do all the little things right before we can try doing the cool big things well.
The loss drops the 49ers to 6-10 on the year, guarantees them a last place finish in the NFC West. And I guess if you want to look at silver linings, also guarantees them a last place schedule in 2025. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Tuesday. Ricky Pearsall had almost as many receiving yards last night as he had the entire rest of his rookie season. Eric Branch has a great article about it in the San Francisco Chronicle. If you want to read more, I'll drop the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch, of course, it has to be the MRI results with Brock Purdy. He's supposed to get a new contract this offseason. If the news is bad, that throws a monkey wrench into everything, not only for Brock's future, but also for the future of the 49ers at that position. Kyle Shanahan is scheduled to speak to the media at 11 a.m. Pacific time today. That frequently changes on the day after game, so keep an eye out on Twitter for updates there. But we're going to know a lot more after that MRI. One thing you may have missed, congratulations, George Kittle. He continues to make history. George had 112 receiving yards last night. That puts him over 1,000 yards for the season for the fourth time in his career. In the history of the NFL, only one other tight end has had more 1,000-yard seasons than George Kittle's 4, and that's Travis Kelce with 7. One other note, though, Kittle is the only tight end ever to notch 1,000 yards on a season with fewer than 100 targets, and he's actually done it twice. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network wherever you get your audio pods. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Click the bell so you're notified when we're live, which is every weekday after every Niners game. And of course, after all Niners breaking news. Have a happy, safe, healthy new year. Please, please, please do not drink and drive. There are many services that will give you rides for free. Be safe, take care of yourself, and take care of everybody else. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.